We're going into our main topic. We're going to coin this topic, Republican versus Democrat.
Yeah,
and the history we don't know.
Yes,
the history we don't know.
The history we don't know, especially.
I mean, a lot of people probably know the history, but
our melanated.
Oh, today you're gonna learn that.
You're gonna learn today.
Our melanated brothers and sisters. Okay.
All right. So we saw in this president election that Trump managed to flip a lot of the Democratic states, which is
the states that Romney weren't able to get.
Right, which is what put people in an uproar. When you see that red, for whatever reason, people just go crazy. They're like, "Oh my God, the country's gonna be run by Republicans."
Like the Republicans just ain't their color.
Maybe like a bad
color. It's just like an evil color.
Or something. Maybe like it's been associated with white supremacy and a lot of this stuff that is a stigma, basically. Over the years, it's kind of happened that way. So,
That's an understatement.
Yeah. They should turn their color to like a lilac.
They should, less offensive, alarming color.
Or lavender.
Right. Light pink or something. So let's go into the history.
The longest lasting party, obviously, the Democratic Party.
Right.
Yes.
And that party was formed in 1792.
Yes.
And they're represented by the donkey.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the Republican Party came years later in 1854. And believe it or not, for people who do not know, the Republican Party was formed to abolish slavery.
Yes.
Yes.
It is what gave you your 13th Amendment,
14th Amendment, and 15th Amendment, yeah.
Yes, the Republican Party was started majority by people of color, black people, which...
I mean, like, we actually had some political power back then.
Right, and it was here to abolish. They created it to abolish slavery and to put people of color in a certain point of power within the politics.
So let's pause. All right, so let's go all the way back to the beginning. So it was a Republican Democratic Party that existed. Where that symbol, the donkey, comes from was Andrew Jackson.
Yes.
After he lost an election or something, he got upset and he formed what we now know as the Democratic Party.
Right, and
I'm sorry.
If you guys don't know what happened, Reef was just eating some candy and he spilled it all over the floor.
Yeah, really, I was like, I'm sorry, y'all.
But back to the symbol of the Democrat, the donkey.
Right.
A lot of people were upset with Jackson, and because he was one of the people who would he would not veto, but he would be against a lot of the policies, and they coined him the donkey because, donkey is
stubborn.
A jack.
Stubborn.
ASS.
Right, fill in the blank. Right. So that's where that symbol came from for the Democratic Party. Okay, so let's get back to the Republican Party, which was founded by anti-slavery and black people. Yeah. Okay, so the Republican Party, I guess, was offensive to the pro-slavery people
movement
because you had black people who were telling these now previous slave owners and some were still current slave owners what to do.
Right, and so because this is where we have some of our first black congressmen.
Yes.
And the Republican Party, this threatened the Republican Party threatened the Democratic Party, which thus led into creating the KKK.
Wait,
before it made the KKK, there was all laws that was in place. Right. I mean, laws happened, and then KKK followed to enforce the law. Okay, so I mean, obviously, the Jim Crow laws, Black Hole, and other laws that was created to necessarily try to manage black people.
Well, that's you going out of order. The Jim Crow laws was later on when we started talking about like segregation and stuff.
Right.
So you got to get to first.
The Ku Klux Klan Act was in 1870.
Yeah, well, you got to get first to where this all came from, which was the Abraham Lincoln, the Emancipation Proclamation, the freeing of slaves.
Yeah.
Once this happened, Republicans took power or whatever. Once this happened, the Democratic Party pretty much freaked out and was like, wait, what? Like, he's freeing the slaves or whatever. And then the Civil Rights War happened. Right? So it was the South versus the North trying to keep slavery enacted. And then when the North won out, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. On top of that, minorities will talk about reparations. Okay. Abraham Lincoln did sign into practice reparations. That
You're
40 acres
talking
and a
about
mule.
the donkey and the 40 acres and a mule.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
That whatever free land was open after the war would go
That was the
newly
Republicans'
freed-
idea, by the way.
Yes. Would go to the newly freed slaves. What happened was a Democratic president, I don't remember his name, he took back over and vetoed that whole thing.
Yeah.
So then they formed what you're referring to, the Democratic Party. You cannot stress this enough. Formed the KKK.
The KKK, because they were in fear of the Republican Party doing away with slavery,
Right,
for good, and it was a threat. So the KKK
or making people equal.
right. The KKK teamed up with the police force.
Mm-hmm.
They got in teams with people in power and political power, and the KKK was not originally a racist hate group.
They weren't.
They were actually an anti-Republican group, and
They were just trying to kill
and they
black voters
killed
and stuff like
black people and white people
who would vote.
who would vote for
Republican.
the person that you said who came up with the idea for the 40 acres and a mule, his name was Thaddeus Stevens.
Right. So
He's the radical Republican that introduced.
Okay, so then somebody came and vetoed that. It was a Democrat though that vetoed the 40 acres and a mule thing. And so we get to the KKK. They formed the KKK. They're trying to keep Republicans out of power because Republicans want equality and whatever. And the Democrats don't want that. They want to keep it the old way.
Yep.
So
There's
wait, let's pause. All right. So knowing what the Democratic Party represented.
Today, do I still think that I'm a Democrat?
Yes.
Well, with history being what it is, you can't change history unless you go back and change it. That can't happen. But although, just as either fact, after the Civil Rights Movement and after stuff like that, the Democratic Party became more for progressive social change.
We're going to go into that.
yes.
And pause, just so you're saying the Civil Rights Movement.
You ask me a question and pause
The Civil Rights, I'm just pointing this out. This is a
what
fact
is
that
this?
you
I know it's two women here. I get it.
No.
I get it.
What are you talking about?
I get it.
Civil Rights Movement, Civil Rights leader, Martin Luther King, was Republican, and so was his father.
So was Frederick Douglass.
No. All that is...
Frederick Douglass is Rochester. That's they dude.
All that's fact. But as time progressed, the Republican Party was more conservative about their social progression.
Right.
And the Democratic Party were trying
to
be more progressive. That's how the shift and people jump ship.
With the whole trying to include silver into the currency. And
right. Well, let me just say this, because I feel like when people talk about politics, we put out all these big words. People don't know what we're saying.
Oh, did I say something?
No.
Oh.
So I want to point out that to be a conservative means that you want to conserve resources. You don't want to squander. You kind of want to save for generations.
So in other words, you want to conserve whatever rules we have or social progression that we have.
No.
You want to keep it. You want to keep it at even till
resources. Period.
Yeah. Cool.
Liberals.
But when you're at progressive rate.
Liberal
progressives, yes.
Which is what happened with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party after the Civil Rights, toward the end of the Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah,
because it was a long fight. It was a long, dragged out fight. So that's how.
Well, no, I want to point out that to be a liberal means that you like to squander, you like to waste.
I mean, they used to have barbecues with us. I mean, they hang us to have barbecues. They've been squandering life for a long time.
They progressed to when the change for black people going into the Democratic Party was after FDR,
Lyndon Johnson,
because that's when they started things like
the Negro Family Action Plan, which basically said that we will give you resources if you do not have a male in the home. I mean, I think many black leaders have been vocal about black people voting Republican and not voting for a party that was designed to destroy you.
Who was the black person that was running Republican and everybody clowned him?
Oh yeah, but that's everybody.
Ben Carson, that was his name.
Condoleezza Rice, who was George Bush's, what was she? Was she Hillary to George Bush? Mm-hmm. They would clown her all day.
Right, and they were doing like very racial
cartoons
about her.
Yeah, she got all of it.
And people were clowning her, and more black people most. It's just part of being part of that systematic.
Yeah, like it's that psychology of if you see the black kid on the corner, he's selling drugs. Oh, he's black. But if you see the black kid and he's Obama,
he's a
white.
problem.
He's white, basically. He switched sides. He's not right. So that's the psychology that goes on in our minds, and we tend to limit the achievements that our community is making because we're like, oh, y'all sellouts or whatever.
Oh, right, yeah. Misery loves company philosophy.
It's just crazy because it's I'm not by all means I'm not surprised about our history because in high school, during high school, they taught us one thing and should have taught us the other.
You're very true in what you're saying. We know white history. We know it.
We know. Yes, we were ingrained.
We know the sugar coated version. Blah blah. Blah, blah.
Right, but we don't know that history that black people founded the Republican Party and to basically give us a chance to progress ourselves.
Right, and put us
and the crazy part about this is this information is not suppressed or hidden.
It's not.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? It's accessible.
That's the word.
But it's our condition. It's our condition and how we've been conditioned
to believe what they tell you and not to go and seek knowledge
yourself.
I mean, that's household, mom, dad. Now, grandpa, grandma. Now,
they might not even.
My family's from the deep south,
right?
And my grandmother always said, "Don't you trust them?"
You trust?
You know, I mean, she. Right. Listen, man. To be honest with you, man, I don't remember my grandmother. Like, I don't remember her chilling with her.
Right.
You know what I mean? We from New York City. I don't remember.
Person of non-color. Is that what you're trying to say?
Fact. Yeah.
Okay.
And my grandmother she was in her way. She was mean, but she from the
was extreme apprehension.
Yeah, it was like, nah, son. Like, I mean, when I got in trouble at my high school, when they tried to expel me with the teacher, they said I tried to put the teacher down there. We'll talk about that another day. But anyway, my grandmother pulled the race card. What?
You tried to push her?
Push a teacher? It wasn't a she, it was a he, and I did not push him down the stairs.
Okay, so this was an alleged...
You didn't, but were you trying to?
No.
Okay.
And so that's what they said.
Yeah, that's what they said. Dude came to the meeting with a neck brace on.
What?
Yo, listen, bro. They was like, yo, we going to follow my grandmother. She's ill, kid. Like, she did something I've never seen in my life. Now, I'm in high school. I ain't really into the political or race. I wouldn't... It was there, but it didn't exist to me because I was constantly around African American people, so I didn't really worry about the other side. You know what I'm saying? She was like, nah, y'all doing that because he's black. If he was white, we wouldn't be having the conversation. I was embarrassed. I was like, you can't do that. I was standing on the side. She said, boy, shut up, I got this. Y'all did it, man, listen. They say, hey, listen, can y'all step outside? We going to deliberate. We went outside. My girl was like, man, listen, boy. It's always going to be you against them. Always. And I was like, well, damn. Man, they was like, man, we're not going to expel you. We're going to suspend you or whatever, but, you know, you can't get another blemish on your record before graduation, whatever. That was my freshman year in there. And you know I got more trouble after that, but they still kept me in school, but, you know.
Right. But it goes to show that what you were saying is you didn't know much because you
were was instilled in you.
But he said it too because he was hanging around a lot of the other African American children who also don't know much. Why? Right. Because we're not
I don't want to say that they didn't know because me telling them that they didn't know would be an insult to the intelligence. I would never do that. But it just wasn't the topic of the topic of our conversation.
Well, he just pointed it out. He said my home environment was this. This was like what I was exposed to.
But it's not an insult to somebody's intelligence for not knowing something that hasn't been taught to them. It's just not knowing.
No. A lot of people be taught stuff.
It's an ignorance. Doesn't mean you're not intelligent. It's just an ignorance of a certain specific topic.
A lot of people are taught stuff and still don't talk about it among their friends because some of their friends might take it to offense. An example that I'll make. One time when I went back home from college or whatever, I wasn't trying to be smart or something, but I said like maybe an 8 or 9 letter word. I was getting just flowed off the tongue.
Right.
My homie really think, you trying to play me, son?
Right. He's touching on something so real, and this is we just talked about this, right?
No, I'm not trying to play you. He said, nah, son, you trying to say word to me that I don't understand, right? No. Now, so when I say that people might know about history, people might know about how Democratic Party and Republican Party was formed. People might know that, but care not to share it because maybe they know that the circle don't want to hear it or the circle don't care about it. You know what I'm saying? So it it starts in the
It must-
household.
and I get it because-
It has to start
Listen,
from your household.
I get
You
what
can't be
you're trying to
responsible
say
for the next
because-
household.
Listen, me being me and having an extensive vocabulary, and my friends tell me this all the time. Oh, well, I feel like I have to dumb myself around you when you're around. And I listen to I don't only listen to rap and R&B and hip hop. Yes, I like those, but I listen to other things like rock, and sometimes I listen to other music. I can't name some genres right now, but I can. But then why are you listening to that white people music?
People put race on everything, even when race don't have nothing to do with it, right? Like, how can you make music racist or what? This is thing that you listen to that you like or you don't like,
right?
So what you're talking about, they kind of touched on in one of the clips that I sent, where they were saying that inner city youth, black youth, minorities have been taught to put on this mask of idiocy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to be stupid.
You're right.
No,
and it keeps our people down. It's so systematic. It's ridiculous.
Unfortunately, my opinion in it, that for us is instilled in our bloodline.
In our bloodline?
Unfortunately,
no, it's not instilled in our bloodline.
Yeah.
It was posed upon us because we were when we were slaves. If we learned how to read, we would get killed.
Right. So which makes it part of our bloodline.
How does it make it part of our bloodline? It's something that was posed upon us. It being posed upon our bloodline is wanting to learn how to further our education, but being told we couldn't. Mm-hmm. And so there's some of us that want to pursue education, and there's others that don't because they're afraid to pursue it for the repercussions of what it might bring to them.
Harry Tubman said, "I saved 1,000 slaves. I could have saved 1,000 more, but the other one was brainwashed." Right.
Right.
Now it's not about that. It's about let's put out rap music, or let's put out this type of music that's going to keep people down. Like, the people who I think should be number one selling artists are people like Black Thought, people like Ty Kweli, people who are socially conscious. Those are the type of people that we should be rallying behind, not Little Yachty. People, I mean, that is them in the background doing what they were doing back then. It's different now. It's the same thing. I gotta be better than him. So the best way for me to be better than him is I'm the realest person on this block. Like, I can slap you 7 times with one hand. Like, we can't do that.
Yeah, but
so and
I agree with you on that. But you're saying that's something that was put in our bloodline. It's not put in our bloodline. It's something that was imposed upon us. Okay. We were put because you're starting our period with slavery, which is what the white people do.
Well, no. History way before that. I agree with what Krif is saying, that the lineage of us was not an education thing; it was a knowledge thing. We never had to open up a book and say, how do we do this? That's a whole different thing. That was taught to you. What you're talking about, that stuff was taught to you. Mm-hmm. Your ancestors didn't need to open up no book and say 2 + 2. They just knew that that's what it was. Okay? So what Krif is painting is this dichotomy of what has happened. It went from you being strong and weak to who's more educated and who's less educated.
But that it's still the same thing now, because what are valued more into Black people is sports.
Right.
Basketball, which doesn't really require much
and other than
knowledge.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to
cut you. But I agree with what he's saying, is because you don't have to. I don't have to instill in TJ, for example, that he should like basketball, he should like rap. That's something that he just automatically picks up on because of the community.
I agree with everything he said. I just didn't agree with him saying that's in our bloodline.
It is. Listen. Let me just give you a prime example of why I agree with what he's saying. Okay.
I know I agree with everything he's saying.
But I'm going to say why it's in our blood. That's what I mean. Okay, so we were back in the motherland or whatever. That N-word meant black God.
Yes, it did.
Niger.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Black God. Mm-hmm. If you call somebody in Latin that N-word, what's the Latin word for black?
Negro,
right?
Negro.
It just means that you're a darker shade or whatever. All right, we get over here, and Niger is invented.
Right.
Okay, and it means ignorant person. Ignorant person, period. Mm-hmm. Right? You could call another white person that.
Yep.
It's not a racial slur. It means you're ignorant. I think you're stupider than what I am. Or you lack the information that I have. You keep this going. You keep calling black people that. Keep calling black people that. They don't think it's no longer a condition of their mind. No, they put it on their skin all of a sudden. Right? So if I'm calling somebody an N-word now, it's, you calling me black. Not that you calling me stupid or nothing else. This is instilled in us. There's people to this day.
You're right on that one.
There's people to this day that will say it's a black racial slur. No, you're talking down to me. Yeah. That's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You don't think I'm as smart as you. I'm not picking up on whatever you got in your brain.
And and I'm guilty for using the word. You know what I'm saying? Because
nigger.
It be
Ooh.
No. I be in the comfort of I be in the comfort of love though when I do and.
Like you use the ER or the
It doesn't matter. Anybody that try to justify it with a letter sit on the sideline with that. I ain't with that.
It's silly, but it is how it is, and it is how it is.
Right.
It is how it is.
Because ING.
But listen. It means the same thing. But however, like you said, because I'm coming now at your point.
Right.
That isn't instilled in us, and that we have the word a, and then the offensive word is er.
Mm-hmm.
No, because if that's the case, you know what I mean. If you call
if a black person calls another black person,
so if I call you sister with an A, you're my black sister. If I call you sister with an ER, you're my white sister.
But no, you're my blood sister proper, right? But then A is like you're just my sister.
Yes, that's I'm putting this back on how you guys are saying it's in the bloodline.
It is, but we don't want to let go of that stuff. This is why I'm saying this new political race that just happened proved that white people were tackling issues, black people were tackling race. Why?
Right.
I don't know because the issues mainly affect you.
Right. This goes even with the birth of the Republican.
But right now, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
That's fine.
What you're saying is correct. We're attacking issues.
No, we're not attacking issues. They are.
Right. What I'm saying.
We're attacking race.
Let me rephrase that. We should be attacking issues. However, it is important to tackle race too, because if we at a point attack our issues and get to the place that we want to get to with the issues, we're still going to have to battle race.
No, I disagree with that.
Okay. I mean, back in the day, we're at a different time now, and I feel like we can. I feel like we can fight it at a different. We can fight on.
In a different stand. We're not the same.
I feel like we can fight them at their level now.
Yes.
We definitely can.
The problem is
we definitely can, but this is the thing too. There's so many barriers into doing that because if we've noticed, there's this whole thing going around where black actors are making less than the white actors are.
Right.
Nah, that's the least of our problem.
But no, I'm just saying this is an example. I'm using this as an example. Okay. So they're basically.
Is that racial when women are making less than men? Is that racial?
Yeah.
Or is that a prejudice?
But listen though. Okay, so if we get into the place where we attack women's rights.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then there would still be that barrier that these
right,
women,
but it's not a racial one.
There'll still be we attack the issue of race of sex.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We still have the issue of race.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the issue was already attacked. You understand? Because we're not enslaved anymore.
Do we still take the lesser money? Do we not fight for equal rights?
But that's what I said. Vote for the issues, not for who's racist, this, that, because we're not dealing with that anymore. That's what I said.
But that issue becomes a race issue, though.
Nah, the race issue is in hand issue with everything else.
Right.
You know, the race issue is.
Okay, so my thing is, okay, so because they're saying black actors make less than white actors. That's for male actors and female actors. Okay. We didn't say let's make all women have the same amount of money.
Okay.
That leaves all the women will make the same. Then you leave. Then that gives you colored people, people of color.
No, that leaves people in impoverished areas, and they're not all black. There's white people in impoverished areas. There's Latin people.
I'm still on the whole scenario of the actors.
All right, let's talk about the actors. Okay.
Because I don't want to get. I'm not trying to go to a sensitive place. I'm just trying to keep this one light.
No. Okay, let's talk about the actors. So one race makes more than the other.
Right.
It goes back into when we were talking about the two political spectrum of it.
Let's not even go there.
Wait. Acting, the whole whatever it is a fraternity. Just like everything. Everything is a fraternity. And
right.
You are
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Just like football, just like basketball, it's a privilege, not a right.
That's what it's like you going trying to enlist in the KKK. They look at you like, wait, aren't you lost?
Right. If you think that Denzel don't make Tom Hanks type of money, you're bugging. If you think Will Smith don't make Tom Hanks type of money, you're bugging. Now, what's his name on Empire? Terrence Howard might not make Denzel money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People like that might not make Denzel money.
And let's just point out the fact that Taraji is getting paid way less than him.
Right. Now, that fraternity is no different than the political fraternity, than the sports fraternity, than the work fraternity. I mean, there are going to be people that make more money. And the people that's going to make more money is normally going to be the Caucasian ones. You want to know why? Because most of the time they're the decision makers. They're the power that be.
Okay, so I get you. Okay, but then that's the thing. We have to be united, right? So where do we get to a point where we can be united? That if what you're suggesting is
we got to get over ourselves.
We got to make our own. We have to make our own.
We got to get over ourselves first.
No, you have to focus on the issues. Issues unite people, right?
The issue is ourselves, though.
But no, this is what I'm saying, because she's saying, how do we get to this place where we're united? Okay,
if we're united, we got to get over ourselves, and we got to be okay with getting the last the scraps. Correct? Is that what?
No. Listen, if you unite on issues, which is what I'm saying, people were so focused on the race thing that they weren't hearing that Donald Trump wants to put jobs back in your community. He wants to put money back in your pocket. He wants to do these things. Democrats are basically saying, let's keep it the way we are. We give you the scraps, and you'll keep coming back. That's what they've been doing. If you focus on race, you will be voting for something that has nothing to do with you, and they keep trying to oppress you and put you back in the same position. But let me say this, okay? With the Black Lives Matter thing, okay? And this is where it went wrong, was when you attached a race to it instead of saying the police are killing us, help us. What happened was it forced people to go to each other on the thing of race, because white people were like, what do you mean? Like, my brother just got shot the other day. What are you talking about? If you're saying, let's focus on the police, let's fix what's going on, say that. Why does it become a racial thing?
Because it affects the status quo.
Yeah.
And when it affects the status quo, it becomes a part of...
Yeah, but they do that. They put that out there for you to see every time, and you eat it
up.
And
you take the bait.
Basically.
You take the bait. But it doesn't negate the fact that we need to get over ourselves.
Focus on the issues. That's all I'm saying. Listen,
we're our own biggest hurdle.
If your family's living in poverty, that's your issue. Focus on that. If you have a son that's in jail, that's your issue. Focus on that. Yeah. Let's figure out how to fix the issue.
I mean, if you ask me, stop doing stuff to put your position where you can't.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting is, if we focus on the issues, it would thus resolve.
It would bring people together.
It would bring the people together and thus resolve the whole race issue.
No. What do you mean? Okay, let's say what was happening.
Will never be resolved.
Wait, no, pause.
So the race issue will never be resolved.
It's more like the race issue is more like a Band-Aid that's a part of American history. It's like you rip it off every time, and it's like people get upset.
Yeah, no, Band-Aid. No, I got a better one. Racism is like, you ever see people who have heart surgery and they got that big scar down their chest?
Yes.
That never ending scar. That's what racism is.
But
America had open heart surgery, and we had to find out what the hell we was on the inside.
Basically.
And through that, we found that the heart is the African American people.
We know that.
And the American people and the American body is going to continue to smoke cigarettes. And smoking cigarettes is the continual injustice that is being inflicted upon them. And what happens when you smoke cigarettes is damage your lungs, it give you heart failure, all that stuff.
But you know,
and what happened? Your heart starts to fall apart, become the individual self. Well, forget that. I don't want to throw this one. Don't want to do a job to support this one. You understand? Remember the saying, "It takes the village to raise the child." Is the reason why that is because each one teaches one.
Right.
But if it's just this house and this house helping, and this house like fuck that house or forget that house, it's never going to work. That's the reason why, like, you guys came to New York City with me that time for the 4th of July, right? Everybody that's I think people that I grew up with. I mean, and we all have our own this and that about what we do, but everybody in my crew is pursuing something to make something better for themselves and for them kids.
Oh, you should always hang around people.
You know what I mean? It's about who you associate yourself with. Now, I can relate to the brother on the corner. I even feel the brother on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you're forced into, look, I got a 9-to-5 job, just like you do and just like you do. I want to sell some drugs. Because, you know what I'm saying?
I'm making broke. What you feel like you're worth to pay for your lifestyle, right?
I need to sell some drugs, but I'm not going to because I ain't really with the consequences, bro.
Right.
I ain't cut out for that. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I have a question. Okay, so gentrification and the impoverished inner cities and school funding.
Right.
That.
Oh, and the prison system.
And the prison system.
Right.
Well, no, the prison system
So
is our biggest problem. It's modern day slavery.
Okay, so that presents me to that. Is this not a part of the race?
No. Because unless all the black people in there, unless it's all black people, you cannot say that.
You can't, because
there's a percentage.
Most of the people that are in jail are white folks. If you look at the numbers,
most of the people that are in jail are impoverished people.
No, most of the people in jail are not actually African American.
No.
Right.
It's the people that they feel like.
I'm doing her race thing. That if you look at the numbers, if you come out on the jail,
because I want to say
white people the minority, the majority. So
most of the people that are in the inner cities and the less funding are people of color. And
people of color, right? But that could be variations of color.
Yeah, variations of color, and I'm for people of color. I don't only speak on the issues of black people.
But people,
each of us we all got different kind of
many people. However, let me hold on. Let me finish. And they put funding into more so the suburban schools, which was more.
We're gonna get into that, but that's incorrect. What you're saying.
They're putting more money into the inner city.
It's who is putting the money. Private industries that fund schools, you call that private school.
Private school, sure.
When the government or the Democratic Party funds your school, you call that public school.
Right.
They take the money, they put you in a
That's why they're able to decide, oh, you know what? Okay, so I'm going to take money from you guys this year and put it over.
I'm going to give that to Katie. She's actually right on that.
They put you in a place where you're inferior to the education that person is receiving, and then you get a lower income job. They keep you where you are.
You're right.
Basically,
you're right.
I think you keep you where you are.
No, she's
I believe
it's time to do that.
At some point,
I retract my statement because you just actually hold on what I said.
At some point, I feel like you become in control of your destiny at some point, and your family's destiny. I say that because, again, seeing how my family to what we were to where we're going.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but not everybody's as fortunate to have that kind of mind to break out of what's, we see this all the time. We from the same.
Yeah.
It's around you, and so you feel like, oh, let me just fall into. It's who's willing to work past your circumstance.
Yeah.
And that is what has happened to the inner cities and the minority communities. They're not willing to work in where they want a handout.
Yeah.
That's why anybody votes Democrats, because you'll get a handout. That's what makes
our job in the mental health field.
I don't necessarily feel like everybody's looking for a handout, because I'm not looking for a handout. I'm looking for more.
No, we vote Democrat because it's just like what or when I was growing up, all I heard was Democrat.
Like me. That's what I knew. Democrat Party the way to go.
Hold on, I was never a Democrat, even when I signed.
That's what I'm saying. No, I never
gave 2 cents about it.
Right, basically, I never cared.
You want to know when politics became important to me? George W. Bush. Even when Bill Clinton, I was old enough to vote when Clinton second term, I believe. Even then, I was like,
Listen, I was never.
When Bush became president, I was like, hold on, wait a minute.
The issues with George Bush. Let's clear this up because the country was fine. Unemployment was at 5%. You wasn't starving.
But I want to make a point too that KD was saying something really interesting. I didn't really think about it before George Bush. We were kind of all right. I didn't even think about that.
No, before the war, we were fine.
We were fine.
No, we wasn't.
We wasn't. Mm-mm. The wars will put us back in the deficit.
All right, guys.
All right, so we do need to touch on kind of a little bit what you talked about, like with the schools and.
However, though, I just want to pause you real quick. If you do side with Katie and Rafe about there being issues and the issue should be attacked, or do you also feel the way I feel like there will still be an issue with race, even though we attack these issues, there'll still be the leftover issue of race.
The scar is what you're saying. There always be that pain and
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I hope that. Yeah, I didn't think so.
So, we would like to hear some feedback from you guys.
Yes, please.
Once you've heard this part, our Gmail and our handles and everything.
This is what I was.
Now we're going to move on.
Wait. I want to say this. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you say there's an issue with race, is the issue that people are pro their race?
I might have my issues when I say things like I think that white people, rape within their bloodline. Right. That's me. That's me being racist and prejudiced. That's me. I'm admitting it. See,
that's the truth.
I'm smart enough to know that.
Other people do it, but they call it.
So then, what do you call the people who verbally attack these people? And
right. That's what makes it a different thing. That's when when you try to inflict bodily harm and try to go above and beyond and let the person think, that's when you're doing the most.
Yeah, but are they attacking that person because of the color of their skin, or are you attacking that person because they said something you didn't agree with? You voted for somebody that person
because I'm saying because of the color of their skin. Let's get it out of the whole black and white thing. Let's go to the whole thing of Islam and Islamophobia.
Yes.
Yes. In America, is that
a skin religion?
It's a religion. It's a religion thing. But what are they attributing it to?
Religion. Are
they attributing it to the people who destroyed that man's cafe? Remember the video I showed you about the man's cafe?
Right.
Why did they even know if he was Islamic? If he doesn't tell you,
right. Here's the difference with Islam.
Mm-hmm.
They clearly. Freely express their beliefs in the way they dress, in just their demeanors in general. So I can't pinpoint somebody. This is what I'm trying to say. I can't pinpoint somebody being Islam.
You can
from the skin color,
but you can pinpoint. That's the thing. That's the thing. Are Muslims is Islamic belief? Yes, all Muslims.
All Muslims.
Are they Islamic? Do they practice Islam basically?
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's the primary religion. There's some Christian Muslims.
Definitely, they're different.
Because there's different religions within the Muslims, but you attribute.
They'll say, "Oh, that person looks Islamic." Oh, and they're like, "Oh, look at that person over there with the."
And that's why.
Is that racist?
No, it's not racist.
That's profiling.
It's Islamophobia, and that's to the religion.
Profiling,
just like racism is to the race.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And
they're inflicting not only words, like you say, your prejudice, and bodily harm.
Right. According to
what they.
But I will not attribute that to racism. I will attribute that to the religion.
That's what I'm saying.
Then, I'm saying, but then I'm
call Krif racist for what he just said about the white race.
Mm-hmm. I'm racist for that.
No, I would
not.
Why am I not a racist for that?
Because
it's a fact. Because it's a fact. No, I'm a fact. It's a racist. Me saying it, me being of an African descent, and categorizing a specific race as in a negative form makes me a racist. Right?
Listen, how does that?
But I'm a different kind of.
Dude. I'm trying to figure out how she's defining it.
How is that going to affect? Anybody of that? It can have a lot of effect on me.
If he said it to that white person, then does that make him a racist? If he said it to their face,
I'm on the radio. It's racist.
He's telling you.
Right, I have crossed the line.
What I'm saying right now is pro my race, anti their race.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Racist.
But I'm taking racism as a point of power where
you're not talking about racism again. You are talking about a political establishment. You are talking about a prejudice. You are talking about white supremacy.
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to?
Right.
Okay.
White supremacy, which is
political.
Affecting who though?
Depending on what side of the fence you're talking about.
Exactly. Because you had at a
we're not trying to be
this is the truth. This is the history. Because at a point, you had Republicans who were on two different sides. You had the Union and you had the Confederacy. Mm-hmm. The Confederacy then became a part of the Democrats and formed the Ku Klux Klan, which people think is a racist hate group.
It is a racist.
But it's a political.
It is a racist hate group.
It's a political group because they killed white people who believe.
It started off political, but then it ended
absolutely
into a racist
absolutely.
thing.
But then they became racist.
No, that's what I'm trying to say.
She's not right.
She's not right. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. When you're talking about, when you're talking about the formation of the KKK, it was because of a political establishment. Then, as you get into like the Martin Luther King days, you're talking about Jim Crow laws and all this stuff that they were pro those laws, which were against
the Republican aspect or whatever those.
Right, the black vote or the minority community or whatever. Absolutely. It was not just people who were used to be enslaved. It wasn't just
no, absolutely. But
it ended
their foundation is
different. We don't understand the foundation, but what it became was a racist hate group.
No. Once again.
Okay, no.
Lord.
No, wait. You're right, and she's like, it started out as a political party that was set out to destroy that political party, the other side.
Yes.
The other side. Now, as time went on, now understand, what she's saying is, what was that other side? What did that other side represent? Although they had Caucasian people there, they were fighting for the African American.
Yeah.
So
how can you just say that word?
What she's saying, they use their political power to take their rights away.
We're going to get to that point again.
Supremacy.
Yeah.
Racism.
Yeah. But
we're going to clarify the definitions again. And this is the difference.
Can't we just go? Can't I just agree to disagree with you?
No. Because listen. Once again,
I don't know, man. Because the way you be going, Gabby, you'll be like, what?
Like, huh? No. It's because that's what I'm saying. It's because of the education. And this is what I'm talking about. Knowledge tells us that an ism or an ist is to be pro what the root word is, right? Mm-hmm. We know this, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So if I'm racist, I'm pro my race. Now, me being pro my race, when I go into diminishing your credibility, your race, so forth and so on, that's a prejudice. That is a stigma. That is supremacy. Whatever you want to call it that. But do not call it racism. Racism is what happened to your ancestors in the field when they went and said, "You're black. You're coming with me," based off of the race, just based off of the race.
Back then, you couldn't read because you was black. Racism. You couldn't have freedom because you was black. Racism. You looking at a white girl, you gonna die because you black. Racism. You can't get a job because you black.
You can't whatever. Mm-hmm. Racism.
Okay, guys, we're gonna still agree to disagree. I'm taking the whole racism out of it. I won't put race. So then when we say we're dealing with prejudice is an issue.
Yeah, yes. That's a form of an issue in which we're dealing with.
And so that we need to deal with prejudice.
Yeah, we need to deal with the issue.
Okay. All right then.
I mean, in order for us to fix real shit. In order for us to fix racism, you got to cut out the prejudice.
Okay, guys. So if
we got to cut the string to attack the issue.
Listen, if it's my vocabulary that's an issue, then prejudice is.
The racism.
No. Your vocabulary is absolutely fine.
But no, you're saying it's not racism; it's prejudice. So then it then comes down to vocabulary.
I was trying to give you that.
Okay, so I guess
I tried to give you an olive bread. She didn't want it.
Why would you?
She said, "Because I'm trying to be nice, Gabby, to you."
Listen. I don't need everybody to be nice to me because I know what the hell I'm saying.
I told you we're not trying to have you all here looking crazy.
So okay then. It's prejudice. I believe what I believe. Whatever. We will agree to disagree or not agree. It's prejudice. We'll call it prejudice. Point blank. Period. It's done. Okay.
No, what you're talking about is white supremacy. That's what you're talking about.
Now you just confuse her more.
Listen.
No, that's what she's talking about. She's talking about this race that thinks they're superior to your race and then uses that for political, economic, and so forth advantage. Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, but anyways, if we do this, we're going to be here for hours, and that's why I'm trying to wrap it up.
All right, so
that's what I'm just trying to.
I'm not mad. I'm joking.
I'm just saying that we won't be here for hours.
Where are my 2 drinks for that?
What I had wanted to touch on
Jesus Christ.
was another part that's like key to the Democratic Party. Okay, so I think when Lyndon Johnson was president, he had a sociologist or something go out and conduct this study in minority communities and figured out, well, what is the main issue in that community? And she came back with a study that said the reason why these people are living in poverty is because you have a lot of moms living out of wedlock with children and the dads are not in the home. So Lyndon Johnson designed the Negro Family Action Plan to keep that going. And basically said, okay, if they're okay with the dads being out the home, then it won't be such a big.
Is that where welfare and all that came in place?
Basically. Mm-hmm. So he basically said,
we're going to help the women take care of the family
if there is no man in the home. on the condition that there is no man in the home, we will give you food, we will give you extra money, we'll give you housing assistance, we'll give you all these things.
Section 8.
You cannot have a male in the home. And that is a Democratic Party incentive, which still exists till this day. Yep. You as a working individual, okay, let's say you stop.
Oh, no. I'm mad as hell because I don't struggle to eat, but my refrigerator don't look like the refrigerator on food stamps. That's a fact. It should, though.
Right.
It should. Isn't
that the same issue with the whole Obamacare that we were talking about?
Well, Obamacare don't give me food stamps.
No, but what I'm saying is the Democrats have designed a system in which they give you scraps, but you're okay with it. You say, oh, thank you for these scraps, and you keep coming back for more scraps.
And then you find yourself trying to cut the system at the knee by selling drugs and doing other stuff.
Sure. Right? But then Republicans are saying, we're just trying to create a system where you can build yourself up.
Well, then, you know what? Can I be honest with you then? The Republican Party need to do a better job of representing themselves and adequately.
What you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean?
Because Obama's Republican. He's been Republican for years.
And that's why. And why do you think that he was so able to casually transition and get the love of the people?
Because he's black.
Exactly.
Not because he's Republican.
No, he was black, but I'm going to assume that he had some Republican foundation.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But you voted for him because he was a Democrat.
No, I voted for him because he was black. If he could have been Republican, I would have voted for him.
When Obama
that's not true. I didn't vote for Condoleezza. I felt like her and George Bush had something on the low.
What did you just say? Put out Condi. Go ahead, put her out there. Condoleezza Rice.
Condoleezza, whatever.
Why you wouldn't vote for Condoleezza? And when all her policies was in favor of making your life better. Why not?
Because
she was on the
go ahead. Like I said about Hillary Clinton. I don't think that the world. I think that this country might be, but this world is not ready for a woman.
Condoleezza Rice.
The world is not ready for a woman to be in power of the most powerful nation.
So that's why you didn't, because she was a woman.
Huh? Is that what my words said?
Yeah, you just said that.
No, I said.
Just saying because
he's trying to backtrack. Now we're offering you an olive branch.
Seriously.
The hell with y'all olive branch on that one.
Go ahead and say that.
The world was not ready for a
woman?
Female president, even today.
Oh, okay.
Well, again, our United States of America might be.
Right.
Hillary's just the wrong one. I believe if it was Michelle, it would have been a wrap.
No way. And listen.
You don't think Michelle would have won?
I hope Michelle runs just so y'all could see what I'm talking about. Because people
I'm just saying.
People try to make it a racial thing. You just said it pinpoint blank. Condoleezza Rice has a PhD. She's more qualified than everybody in his whole cabinet.
Gosh.
The country's not ready. The world's not ready. The country is.
Yo.
The country is. The world isn't. I'm sorry. It's just what it is.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So if it's black, white, and different, it's a woman. Condoleezza Rice was black.
But she was Republican, and she tried to get the black vote. What's going to happen then?
Obama was Republican. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, you telling me, understand what I'm telling you, though.
Right.
We know this.
Yes.
How many other people knew?
Yeah, they knew he was Democrat.
Exactly.
They didn't know he was Republican.
They didn't know you really believe that? People knew that. You really believe that all those people...
Not all of them.
Wait. All those people. Now, listen. They said that Obama, when he won, the turnout was crazy. People who never voted before voted. There's no way in the world they knew he was Republican.
No, they wasn't voting for him based on his issues or policies.
They voted because of this.
Skin.
Exactly.
Racism.
And he just so happened to be with the D, not the R. Just so happened. He Democratic? I've been Democratic, I ain't know. But I've been Democratic on the low. Because my neighbor's Democratic, he look like me.
They voted for him based off the color of his skin.
Exactly.
And
now, had he been a Republican, they'd have looked at him like, nah, he's for him though.
The fact that he was voting on the Democratic Party, which is now more so majority African American.
Who's the guy that offered ran for president when Trump was running, the black guy with the glasses? What's his name?
Ben Carson.
Yeah. Now, at first, I ain't gonna lie to you. When he was running for, I was like, this fella. That's exactly what I said. This fella. But then I started to listen to Ben Carson. Like, wait a minute, this dude is pro-black. What am I talking about?
Son, did you see when he was on The View talking to Whoopi? And he was like, I don't believe in food stamps. I don't believe in this, that. And Whoopi went off. She was like, let me say something. My mother was a single mother and she needed food stamps. This, that. we like these handouts. There's nothing in you that's conditioned to.
But now, sometimes, see, Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey,
right?
Michael Jordan. Some people are benefits of that system, but those are like rare moments where you get a star born out of poverty. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like that, it's a lot of it, but it's very small. You know what I'm saying? Like Bush, I was like, "Yo, Bush, what up, bro?" He's like, "Yeah." No, literally, he said you deaf. He said you deaf here.
Yeah, but did you get
But the thing,
he said you deaf. I got you, bro.
Right, it was a disability.
But
disability, right? And then I try to go do it with my boy Obama. He said, "Nah, you good, bro."
Alcoholism and drug use qualifies as a disability now. They get money for it.
It does. It really does.
Excuse me?
They get boo-boo money.
Alcoholism and drug use.
Yep.
I'm not finna.
They get mad money for that. But anyways, like I was saying. Wait
a minute, come on, back up.
Oh, Jesus.
Pause. The income tax amendment. I don't remember which one that was. Is it 17 or 18 or one of them? That the taxes actually started coming out. You started paying tax. That was also a Democratic thing. Marriage licenses was a Democratic thing to keep races from
intermingling.
Yes.
Okay, like I was saying. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. Like I was saying, I benefited from food stamps when I was in my younger ages, but when I really noticed how flawed the system is like recent because of my status now. I'm not at a place where I'm making enough money to be completely financially stable on my own and need help from the government, but they're not willing to help me. They're willing to help those that have families.
And that's the Democratic thing to keep us down, is what y'all think.
Yes, because Gabby, who's trying to go to
I'm trying to get to that
another
place.
level where she's independent, she's working, she went to school,
and I don't need it.
Invested in her education, all that stuff. We are the ones that needs the assistance, right? If you come out of school, you didn't spend racked up loans. You're the one that needs, you're the one that needs the money.
Yo, listen, I'm telling you, when I was looking for healthcare because it's mandatory, because Obamacare made it mandatory
leave Obama
to have. No, that's but we got to point this out though. Obamacare made it mandatory to have healthcare, and if you don't have healthcare, you're penalized. Right. So. I don't have money to get the health care. What makes you think I have money to be penalized?
Pay the penalty. But
to pay the penalty. It makes no damn sense.
It's very true.
And I'm looking at policies. I'm looking at a policy for individual because an individualized. I'm a person. I don't have anybody. I'm not married. I don't have a husband. I don't have any kids.
And she gets punished for that. You get punished because you don't have kids. You get punished because you're not married.
I'm not having any kids. They take. I look at a lady. I looked at one girl. We were working the same job, getting the same amount of money. She was getting back more money than I was, and
because she has kids.
She was getting. I think.
Listen, let me tell you something. I think she was getting all the time. When I find out how much people get back with kids, I say, yo, having kids is a good side hustle.
Yo, are you kidding me? And when you're trying to elevate yourself to a higher standard, it's so.
Adapt, Gabby.
Wait. Let me tell this story now. Okay, so y'all know I have a recent addition to my house, little TJ, right? So, his mom called me and Mo, right? Not to say thank you, but just to make sure that she was still able to file for her income tax for TJ. She just want to make sure that was cool.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's cool. Because I don't love the little boy for the money. You can do what you want to do.
There you go.
But I'm telling you, other people would be like, what? We need that money.
We need that money, but they need the money to help support the child, though, because otherwise they would not be able to.
No, people don't take their income tax that they get back for their children.
They take their income tax to buy them new Jordan. What are we talking about, man?
I know a girl who was in the same situation as you. She started dating this guy who has a child by another lady.
Right.
The lady doesn't want to take care of them.
Right.
Doesn't want to take care of the child, so the child is living with them. Between the two of them, they're not even making enough money to buy that girl diapers or anything like that.
First of all, pause. So
is it
the guy's? Is the guy's child?
It's the guy's child.
Well, that's his responsibility to take care of the child.
Yeah, but she's filing the income tax for the child.
Right.
Child.
He is.
No, he's not. She is.
He has the child in the household.
Yes.
This is what I'm about to say. He is el stupido.
But isn't that the same? Isn't that the same situation?
No. Let me tell you. See, this is the problem with my brothers, and y'all really get on my. Y'all starting to get on my nerves about this. Yo, learn your rights, bro. They're your kids too. Just because I get it. Most of the time, the course.
They have more than one kid.
No, it's just the one kid.
I get the course.
Does she have kids like with the other guy?
with
another person.
I don't know if she's with another person.
Okay.
I have no idea what's the background for her, but I know she's
like,
filing income tax, and they're just like, okay, we know you have, just give us some of that money for the child.
No, man.
Why didn't he file? He should file in the house so the child is in the house.
Oh my God!
During some time,
no, I don't understand how much baby mama, baby daddy.
They be having these arguments. Can I be the one to file for the child?
No, what argument? If the child is in that home, that's the home that you file in. Now, TJ is not my violent. That's not. I'm not his parent.
But he's in your home.
It's a different story, though. Like you said,
but he's in your home, though.
The biological.
Right.
I can't.
Can we not
talk about?
There are some situations.
I'm going to blow. I feel like. Nah, man.
When did
take care of your kids, man?
Right. When did it become?
He is taking care of his.
He's not the issue. She is my problem right now.
When did it become okay to put a price tag on your kids? Number one. That's number one. Number two, if you have those kids, it's your responsibility to take care of them. I don't think the government should pay you back to take care of your kids that you chose to have. That makes no sense.
Now, granted, I get it. You get a lot of money because you got to pay for, daycare or like, yeah. I'm with that. I see why they give it back to you. But that thing got me hot.
For what?
Why is she filing for taxes? No, I'm sorry.
You on the mail.
Why is she filing for taxes?
Yeah, I'm too emotionally involved right now. I'm sorry. I'm too emotionally involved. I feel like if he taking care of the kid, he dealing with the kid waking up in the night, getting sick, taking care of.
Right.
He dealing. Why is there even a discussion?
Right.
Of me even
if that's the case,
contemplating giving you the taxes. I don't understand.
If she doesn't agree and he files, then take it to court. Because if the child is in his home, then whatever. Like, but that shouldn't even be a thing.
Brother,
she's probably being spiteful because he's with somebody else, right?
It is what it is. You can bring up whatever you want to bring up. The fact is that she's filing taxes with a child.
That ain't right.
That's what's right. It's not right. It's going back to the place where it's not right for TJ's mom to be filing taxes while he's not there. If that money is supposed to be going to who?
I'm not so strong on that one.
What?
I'm not so strong on that one.
What?
If you're okay with it, then that's why I'm not so.
Exactly. That's the difference because she's okay with it.
Right. That's why I'm not so.
Because she can support him without having those.
Right.
Without having that.
My homeboy
over here. He needs that for his kid. Yes, that's the difference.
He should be limited. I'm limited.
If it was the same way with Kalia, where Kalia could not support TJ but needed that income tax filing,
that'd be a different story.
That would be a different
fight for TJ.
story. Exactly, and that's all it is.
So you think he might be making enough money where he don't?
No, he's not. I'm just saying that.
See, that's mad. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand? Okay. People are having children that they cannot provide for, and then wanting a hand. This is my point.
Yes.
Handouts.
Right.
Well,
I wish my
so you're telling me the Democratic Party is for all this.
Yeah, all this.
For all this. Now, okay, then what up with the pro-life though? Republicans are not pro-life, and Democrats are not.
Democrats are pro-life in the sense that
you can make that decision if you want.
Right.
Republicans
say no. If you chose to lie there and get pregnant, you need to have that child.
Now, hold on about that. Let's talk about people who get pregnant out of rape.
Right, but you have to prove that, basically. They have a law that if you prove that this is what happened, you can abort the baby. Okay. But people who are just going to have an abortion, Republicans are like, nah, I ain't even. But the Democrats say, sometimes people make a mistake and you can't afford that child and you want to have an abortion.
Now, Republicans say, too bad.
Republicans basically say it's not your decision to make. They, they're
like you brought in life. You brought in life.
So God. Wait a minute. So
God told me to insert this in here, and God told me to.
Listen. The issue with the Republican Party a lot of times is it's supposed to separate church and state and whatever, but it doesn't. A lot of
it never separates church and state. I never get it. It's like, it's supposed to be a separation. It's never that. Never that.
So basically, they're like, you did this, deal with the consequences. Because Republicans are like, Democrats are like,
you could have wrapped up,
even
done birth control and all of that,
right? But you chose not to do.
Right. And there's still loopholes within birth control and condoms and all that stuff. But the fact that you felt like you were able to partake in the act that does that can produce
Man, get out of my bedroom with that.
You should be ready for the consequences that happen with that.
Somebody need to go sit on the sideline.
No, you need to sit on the sideline. And that's the issue with men.
And
that's how men feel when babies come out and they say they have no responsibility for that. And that's the same.
Pause with what you're saying. Let me tell every female this once and for all. If you choose and make a decision to have a baby, you are having that baby. You're the one pushing it out. It is your responsibility. It's your body. It's all of it. Now, should you find a man that is like, that's our child, it's a rarity. Even the ones that's been in a relationship for 8 years.
You see that what you were about to use, that's the same logic that you should disconnect themselves from a child.
I'm not about to make that kind of mistake. I do not want to have no. I want a child, I do, but I don't want no child with no crazy chick.
Baby mamas.
I can't do baby mama drama because I've seen enough of it, and I think that I'd be.
Yeah, but whose responsibility is it? You understand?
As far as what? It's both of our responsibilities.
Is it? Because if
what do you mean? Wait.
This is what I'm alluding to. Because if the girl says, I don't feel like I'm ready, the guy will drive her to the abortion clinic and be like, all right, you do you, right? Because it's not my choice.
What about, right.
What do you mean? You just said that's your child too.
It's your child.
Right, but like, I've been, I've had that situation happen to me where I wanted the kid and she didn't want it.
No, but you step up, you say, listen, go through the pregnancy, you don't want to take care of it, I will take the responsibility.
Nah, you just said that it's your body.
It's your child though, right?
It's my child, but I don't got to go through it. She do.
This is very true.
But like, that's not right.
What's not right?
Can't we put the baby somewhere where it could be born without being born? I know that. I know.
Take it out the child so it can be born in the incubator, basically. And then
I meant like a plasma, like egg-like something. That's what I meant.
It's called an incubator.
What do you mean, like
it's an incubator.
Okay, what?
It's an incubator. It's just because it's the
word like you just cussed.
Message.
Yeah, because of the word I use is so science. It's like it's so like.
She want to do that. She want to exercise the vocabulary.
Because the word I use is so detached of feeling and emotion for what we're talking about, which is life, and that's why he was just like,
that was very ignorant of me to say, but. Nonetheless,
a woman is an incubator for a child. Right? Yeah, if you were to take the child out and have it grow someplace else, that would be the child's incubator. It is what it is.
You are riding that word today, aren't you?
I'm just. It is what it is. But the female incubator comes with a lot though, because whatever the mother feels, the child feels, and so with
the technology that we have today, again, I'm talking ignorant. With the technology that we have today, you'll be able to instill the father's feeling. My whole point is, men should have an equal say-so as y'all do. Unfortunately, we can't as far as the medical aspect is concerned because it comes from you. Right. Now, I'm going to be real honey with you. I'm not that dude that's going to carry a baby for 9 months. I'm being real. I'm not equipped mentally for that. Like, no.
Mm-hmm. What you mean? But see, this is what I'm saying. If you have that ideology in your head, you shouldn't be a father.
What do you mean?
Now, this is why I say that. Because if you
Wait, what ideology?
That ideology of, well, okay, she's a woman, she carries the baby, and I'm the guy. I'm not equipped to do that.
No, I'm not. No, I'm equipped to take care of a child, but I'm not,
Wait. Pause. From that child's conception, you are taking care of that child, which means you have to take care of the mother. Most guys separate the two. Like, oh, she's just going through it.
Just like y'all do just like some women do sometimes too.
But what?
Separate the child from the guy.
But you are separate. You're two individuals. I'm carrying the child.
See, that's what
everything the child feels, mom feels, child feels.
That's where men get up in arms. All right, well, you do what you want to do because either way, what I say, you're gonna do what you want to do.
Yeah,
anyway.
But most men will give up without fighting for their child. That's my issue. And ultimately, you're right. It's her body, it's her decision.
Because most of the time, can I tell you why that is?
Listen, it's not her body, her decision.
You know what type of chick you're dealing with. You know deep down inside that chick ain't the one for you.
There's this meme I saw that it actually made me start thinking when it said it's your body, it's your decision. Well, if it was your body, it would be affecting your body. It's not affecting your body. It's affecting the body of the child.
Another human being.
Yes.
Which is why Republicans are against.
Yes. So it's not affecting your body; it's affecting the body of the child you're in.
Okay, well, Republicans can't give birth to everybody's baby, so they can sit this one out.
Republicans versus Democrats. What have we learned today?
We have learned today that we need. So the foundation of what we learned today, we need to educate ourselves as not only black people, but as people as a whole.
Actually, that's not what the topic of today is. That's the topic of this whole podcast. No. This whole I feel like every podcast we do, we say that.
To educate yourself.
Take some time. That's not.
No, well, that needs to be our running slogan.
Don't get me wrong. Color out is here to fill in the blanks. But
right. That's the importance of all. We say that with the whole election thing. Educate yourself.
Right. We might be misguided misfits, but we some knowledgeable misguided misfits. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I learned that. I learned that Democrats been lying for some time, huh? Well, I don't think they've been lying. They haven't been lying. No, they haven't been lying. It's been in our face. We just haven't. It said it right in the opening of the research that I did. It said most people are either Democratic by design or Democratic by deception.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You either you're aware of the history of the racist history and don't care, or you've been lied to.
All right. Okay. We'll get into it. All right, we got to close this.
I'm good.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this segment up and stay tuned for some more Colored Out, guys.
Peace. Holla.
All right, guys, we're unfortunately at this point where we have to close it out, but
it's time to go.
It's time to go.
Yes. So what did we talk about today? We talked about
red flag.
Winning.
Red flag.
If you didn't vote, you're still a dummy at the end of the show. That's how I started. At the top of the show, that's how I'm ending it.
If you did vote, you're a dummy.
Yes.
If you didn't vote, you're a dummy. According to Kalia.
In this particular election,
this is one of those. This is one of those elections where,
especially if you want to go vote undecided.
Yeah, if you went to go vote against something, you're a big idiot. If you went to go vote undecided, you're also an idiot because you could have been.
So I'm a big idiot for voting independent.
No, you voted for something. You didn't vote against or undecided.
Yeah,
there's no need to wait in a line to do that.
Right.
I feel bad for the third party though. I was looking on TV.
This
dude was getting 2%, 3%. I'm like,
no, because usually you don't even see the third party.
You don't even see.
When Barack ran, I didn't even know
who ran.
I didn't even know. There's a third party. Oh, why wasn't he at the thing? Why he wasn't at the debate?
No, they was getting momentum this election.
But and you know what? I was rooting for some Jill Scott, and none of that happened. And I was like, "What? Mm-hmm. She's even behind the independent party?" I was like, "What? I thought she would be above it. I think she was one of the way." I thought she would have been hand in hand with Hillary and Trump.
I didn't take the L today because, I said, I'm the host of the show, so like the red flag.
You're the host of the show.
I have a red flag repeller.
Red flag because he said he's the host of the show, so we're gonna red flag him right there.
Right. It's a trio host.
Okay. Because you didn't do this whole show by yourself.
Yeah, see, it's already going to my head. You see, they're already telling me.
Oh,
what else did we talk about today? We also talked about
Republican versus Democrat,
and I guess it was an eye-opening.
Yeah, Republican. Black people, please know this. Republican history is your black history.
Yeah, educate yourself, man. Again, that's our format. You know what I mean? Just look. Literally, all you gotta do is type it in something. It's gonna pop up.
It literally will. Democratic Party. It'll give you all the history. Republican.
And that's what's crazy because that's what I typed. Democratic Party. I typed Democratic Party, right? And the first thing that came up was the racist history of Democrat. I was like, wow, that was the opening thing. Right? I was like, oh.
And you know what's so crazy though? If you guys continue to, listen to us and stick with us, you'll be, a lot of the things that we're talking about is all things that are at your grasp to find out. Mm-hmm. We didn't go into we didn't do no Indiana Jones type bullshit to go find.
Went into the Catholic library.
Yeah, sneaking into places to find this information. No, this is all information.
And we hope that this will invoke conversation
and have you yourself
on the corner because
don't take our word for any of what we say.
Yep.
Definitely go.
Don't ever take Reef's words, my words, KD's words. Go yourself.
Consider us a liar.
No. Listen, I say that all the time when I go home to New York City. We be getting arguments about anything, and I always manage to say, you know what? We're not in 1996. I'm Googling what you said. You either telling the truth or you ain't got no fact. Like, even Google be having it messed up, but sometimes, most of the time, Google get it right. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they get it right, but...
And I want to also pinpoint something hilarious. If you ever listen to KD, she's always saying, go back into your history. It'll be something that happened like a week ago. You don't know your history. You don't know your history.
Yeah. KD always talking about...
Are you telling me what happened like the other day? The other day? That's our history?
KD always asks me that, well, who told you that? Somebody, you think that's right, but here's what it is.
I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, KD.
Go to your history yesterday. This happened. That's your history.
KD is that host that said, you can choose from door number 1, or you can choose from door number 2. But if you choose from door number 3,
wait. Gabby makes a good point because people were going out and vote for Hillary. I'm clutching my heart like, son, if she gets elected, we're going to war tomorrow.
Well, you know what? You were saying that to yourself, and you know what I was saying to myself? I was like, if this man gets elected, we're going to a civil war. So,
international war, World War III.
I would prefer World War III over Civil War, yeah.
Whoa. What?
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Okay,
let me tell you. Let me tell you after you ask the question. You can't ask the question. Then
this is the freaking wrap up. We're wrapping up. We're not going into another topic.
Okay, well, I'll hold my answer to the next time.
Jesus Christ. This is a wrap up, guys. We also talked...
She almost got it.
Ain't nobody almost got it.
KD almost got it.
Yo, if history... Like Katie always says, if we go in our history, you tend to be on losing side of it all.
That was a good one. That was a good one. No. That was a good one. Not factual though, but that was a good one.
No facts. No
facts. There's no facts.
And Tihu, we also talked about some coping skills in our health and wellness with this
recent surprise.
Yes.
Great.
Surprise to who you talk.
For Trump
surprise to who you asked.
I guess people have been having anxiety and.
We've been getting a lot of people calling, especially during before, like 2 days before the election. People was calling in, and when they found out Trump got elected, it was a flood of calls.
Suicidal ideation.
Sure. Crisis interventions mostly.
But just remember,
well, psychologists made their money that day.
Number one thing that everybody should be doing, as far as I know, if you're alive, you're doing this, is just breathe. Just breathe.
Yeah, listen. We woke up today. The world's still the same. Like
it
2 days ago,
and people tend to sometimes forget that the sun will set and it will continue to rise.
But one day the sun's gonna set and rise, and the world's gonna be on fire. That's what we really need to. That's what the problem. That's what people are concerned about.
Well, what people? Not your people.
My people,
and
I'm concerned for my people for the simple fact that we're not educated enough.
Deal with what's going on.
We're not. Not enough of us are educated enough to make the right.
And before we start, because I know people are trying to get him impeached. Before we start the whole impeaching,
y'all need to chill. Y'all don't know.
Let's see what he does first.
People stop telling us to go kumbaya. This is not a kumbaya moment.
What are you talking about?
Let me suck it in first, then talk about kumbaya. It's too soon to be talking about kumbaya.
When the guy tried to kill him?
Kill himself?
No, when the guy tried to kill Trump.
Oh, before the election? Yeah, I know.
Just relax. Just everybody
just chill the fudge out. There we go.
There you go.
Anybody that
fudge it out. Fudge. All right, so and let's see what he's going to do, and if it does get bad, we live in Rochester.
It's a hop and a jump.
Joe,
I hope you have. Do you have your extended driver's license?
Oh no, I'm working on that.
So, okay, Rochesterians, if you do not have, and Californians too, people, you guys go get your extended licenses.
Listen, man, if you live in the South, move up to New York and California, because that was the only place that was blue. Okay,
seriously.
I'm just kidding. Everything else was red. Everything else was red.
Historical facts.
Yo, listen. Right before we leave, my night really set in for me, right? Because it was 2:15 to 2:44 for like a good hour, yo. Yeah. And I was like, all right. And then the dude kept messing with me. He like, yeah, Hillary Clinton, she's winning Pennsylvania. I swear to God, 15 minutes later, he like, wait a minute.
Well,
it looked like Trump has won Pennsylvania. I said, Trump. When did we start losing Pennsylvania?
Do you know that people turned into mathematicians? They was like 20.
Right, listen, I started listening. Listen. That night, I found out the definition of swing state. Listen, I just thought, what do you mean swing state? Swing states are those states that got 20 votes and 20 electoral. That's what he means. I was like, oh, Pennsylvania about to swing the hell.
We were even trying to get the small states because as many states.
Trump said,
we was looking for Rhode Island. We was like, all right, if she can get the rest of these.
I was looking for
we usually look for the big states, but even to this one, we were looking for the small states. We're like, all right, as long as we get the rest of them, we're good. So what you doing, Rhode Island? What's going on?
They were trying to get Hillary some scraps. They was like,
they was trying to get her scraps.
They were doing what they was like. Yo, listen, Pennsylvania too close to call, right? So if you add all these other ones, she'll have 269 and he'll have 269. So whoever wins Pennsylvania wins the thing. But that didn't even happen. She got slapped. Like literally, this dude had 300 and some odd.
He had Florida. He had Ohio.
Pennsylvania. Yes.
Texas, North Carolina. Yes. Texas, Georgia. All these big. I was like, whoa.
I mean, let's not get it twisted here. The state that he had, we knew he was going to have these states. The turnout didn't happen. The people that were supposed to come out didn't happen. The people that came out for Obama didn't come out for Hillary. Which is okay.
And you know what? I want to do something about the people that came out for Obama. If you ask them now, would you still feel the same way you feel now? There would not be such a big turnout for Obama.
Rochester talk.
I disagree with that.
No, because there was an interview done, son.
I disagree with that.
There's an interview done.
I disagree with anything. When it's in hindsight, I disagree with anything when it's in hindsight.
True.
For the simple fact that because.
If you knew what you
I wouldn't have put my thing in her that time. I wouldn't have made that layup. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that.
That's true. Because I know there was an interview done where people were like, "Well, do you still feel the same way?" I was like, "Well, Obama didn't do anything for us."
Because he got reelected the second term, so
because people were like, he's gonna.
Because we thought it was 4 years was too early. He's just settling in. He's settling in. This next 4 years is gonna be.
Y'all do know that if he was gonna do something. He would not go
and a lot of people don't understand.
I can't do it with y'all. We need to end this segment because y'all about to turn me up.
Other people don't understand too is that the House was
preventing him from doing a lot of what he probably could have done for us.
You mean his Republican friends prevented him?
I like that.
So we're gonna wrap this up, guys, because we could be here all day.
Yes, we need to wrap it up. I do gotta get to work. I'm like 9 minutes.
We all gotta get to work.
Yes.
All right. So thank you for listening to this episode
of Colored Out. Stay tuned for our next episodes. We have so many segments we want to start. We're still trying to listen to you guys. We want to hear from you guys.
We're about to take radio by storm.
We are going to be launching our Rochester Talks. So I'm so excited.
Listen.
Hope that we come up.
Hit us. No, listen.
We have an interesting first.
For you guys, hit us up.
We have an interesting first Rochester Talks. I want to know what you guys are going to think about it. So stay tuned. If
you're lucky, you get to be a guest on the show.
Yes.
Hey, listen.
I actually had somebody from work come up to me and like, "Oh, my boyfriend, he raps. I want you to listen to that." I was like, "Yo, send it into our Gmail. We'll listen to it. If we like what we listen to,
we'll give him
you might get featured."
There you go.
We want this. This is community radio, guys, for you, the community,
just for y'all.
Even the people that didn't vote, you still my friend, but you.
Oh my God! All right,
this is the end.
All right, guys. Bye.
Peace.